Hi there, this is Tony from pianotone.ca, and this is my updated review for 2023 on one of my all-time favorite online piano courses, the Piano Man Approach by pro pianist Steve Lungrin. Now, I did do a full review on this course a couple of years ago, but the format and the package options have actually changed a fair bit, and there's some very cool new features and offerings, so I thought it was time to just redo my review in full. So let's check it out. So I first took the Piano Man Approach course in 2019, and I have to say it was completely game-changing for me. It improved my playing significantly, taking it to a whole new level. So who is this course for? This course is great for total beginners. It's great for people with prior music experience on other instruments, and it's even great for somebody who's taken traditional piano lessons that wants to learn how to play modern music, because traditional piano lessons really do focus more on classical music. So the Piano Man Approach teaches you how to play piano using chords, which is by far the fastest and easiest way to learn how to play. So you won't see any sheet music in this course. You do not have to learn how to sight read. And as I've said many times before, you do not need to be able to read sheet music to learn how to play the piano, especially if your goal is to learn how to play modern pop, rock, country, blues, or jazz songs. So if you're brand new to music and you're not quite sure what I'm talking about when I say learning with chords instead of sheet music, well, think about a guitar player you may have seen busking or at a cafe or even around the campfire who takes requests, quickly looks at something in a book or nowadays an iPad or an iPhone. Then suddenly they're happily strumming away and singing a new song. That person is doing that by playing the song using the chords for the song, which will look something like this. Nice and simple and easy to read. You can think of a chord sheet for a song as the basic structure of the song. Now compare that to the sheet music for the same song, which is basically showing you every single note as originally played by the artist, which is a far more difficult way to learn how to play a song. Learning to play a pop or rock song with sheet music would take me weeks or months. Learning the same song with chords I can do in hours or even less as you get more experience. Now, if your goal is to play traditional classical piano pieces, then you would be better off looking for a course that does include sight reading. So there are a lot of other chord-based piano courses out there, and lots of them are great. But there are a couple of things that really make the Piano Man Approach kind of stand out from the crowd. The biggest difference, and the one that really elevated my playing to a new level, was the emphasis on left-hand rhythm patterns, or feels, as Steve calls them, that match the genre of the song. Now, in a lot of the other chord-based courses that are out there, the left hand is often kept very simple, often just playing a single note or notes at the start of each measure. So, for example, I'm going to play a simple common chord progression with the simpler left hand approach that I'm talking about that a lot of the other courses have you play. So let's take a listen to that. So that's fine when you're first getting started, and that is how I first started playing. But I quickly noticed that all my songs kind of sounded the same. You couldn't tell from my playing whether I was playing a rock song, a blues song, a pop song, or a country song. Now, what Steve teaches you to do in the Piano Man Approach is how to use your left hand to play a rhythm pattern that mimics the rhythm of what the bass and the drums would be doing in a band. And by doing that, you're now matching the genre or the feel of the song you're playing much more closely. So those same chord progressions are suddenly going to sound way more like the song you're trying to play. I used to play bass in rock bands when I was much younger, so I can definitely relate to how the bass and drums kind of keep a song moving along. Here's some examples. I'm going to play the same chord progression I just played, but what if it's a rock song with a drum beat like this? So listen to the drums here. This is a standard kind of a syncopated rock beat. So for this, Steve is going to teach you how to match that feel with a left-hand rhythm like this. So if I turn the drums off and you don't happen to have a drummer around and you're just playing the song on your own on the piano, it's going to sound much more like the original song with that left hand rhythm pattern. So for other genres, what if it's a country song? You could play the same chord progression with a rhythm pattern that's more appropriate for country. Or what if it's a straight ahead pop song with a very straight beat? What if it's something that's in 3/4, like a waltz? Or what if it's a blues or like a 50s rock song with a walking bass line? Now, the other main thing that really sets the Piano Man approach apart from a lot of the other courses out there is that, in my opinion, this course is the most straight ahead meat and potatoes course out there. There is little to no fluff in this course. Pretty much every single thing that Steve teaches you is super useful and will improve your playing. This really is one of the most time efficient courses you can find for learning to play the piano quickly and effectively. So how does the Piano Man approach work? Well, when you sign up for the Piano Man approach, you get lifetime access to his main course, which he calls the Crash Course. So this is a one-time payment. There's no recurring subscription fees or charges, which is awesome. This is a 28-lesson online video-based course that will take you from complete beginner to being able to play the piano with chords, include genre-appropriate rhythm patterns, and then spice up your playing with different improvisation techniques. The course is divided into 6 modules. So essential fundamentals. This gets beginners started with keys on the piano, intervals, and the major scale. Basic chords and rhythm patterns. This module introduces you to basic chords and your first left-hand rhythm patterns. Then we move on to second-level chords, rhythm patterns, and improv. This module is where the course really starts to get going. It introduces more rhythm patterns, some slightly more complex chords, and gets you started with some simple improv techniques to spice up your playing. Then the next module is on learning songs. This module is the reason most of us start learning an instrument, so we can play songs. Steve will go over his 5-step song learning process, which he still uses himself. This is a super efficient process to learn a new song quickly. Then modules 5 and 6 go into some more complex rhythm patterns, chords, and improv techniques, and then there's some wrap-up comments. So what do the lessons themselves look like? For each lesson, Steve will have a brief intro going over what you'll be learning in the lesson, and then the video will switch to an overhead view for the lesson itself so you can see what he's playing. Then for lessons that are a little bit further on into the course, you're going to also get a song learning example that reinforces the topics that were covered in the lesson. Now, these are not note-for-note song tutorials where you just memorize how to play a song. These tutorials are way more useful because they show you how to apply what you've learned in the course so that you can learn songs on your own. And Steve has a real knack for picking songs that are perfect real-world examples that reinforce what you're being taught. And he also manages to find songs that are from all sorts of music genres. And that really shows how the Piano Man approach and the lessons can be applied to rock, pop, country, blues, songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, right up to today. Okay, so I mentioned at the start of this review that the format and the package options have changed. It used to be that you could choose to just buy the Crash Course, or you could buy what Steve called his Deep Dive, which was a huge depository of more specific lessons that he'd accumulated over the years. That was great, and there was a ton of material in the Deep Dive, but what Steve has done now is pulled out some of the most popular and useful lessons from his Deep Dive and then repackaged them into individual courses, and he's now including those with the Crash Course. This is actually really cool because it makes this extra material much easier to access by organizing it into individual courses. So the extra courses that are included with the crash course now are playing piano by ear, the art of playing piano in a band. I've actually recently joined a band myself, and I've been working through this course, and it has been a huge help for me. And then there's a course on easy Christmas Carol sing-alongs, where Steve walks through some how to play some popular Christmas standards. Then in addition to these courses, he's also including a couple of useful resources. There's a live stream Q&A and video blog anthology. It's basically a collection of a whole bunch of prior live Q&A sessions where you can see Steve answer student questions that you may have as well. Then there's a song tutorial index. While Steve's course does teach you how to learn to play songs yourself, and that is the intent of his course, he also occasionally does very in-depth song tutorials for various songs. This is a list and method of accessing those tutorials if you're interested. So all of that is now included with the one-time payment for the crash course. But Steve has also now started filming some new courses that you can choose to purchase as add-ons, if you're interested in them, once you've completed the crash course. And at the time of this review, he's got 3 new courses available. Right-hand melody and ear training. In this course, Steve shows you how to figure out the melody of a song and incorporate the melody into the chords and improv you're playing in your right hand. Then he's got a course called Next Level Improv Chord-Based Hacks. I've just actually started this course myself, and I have to say it's amazing. I might actually need to make a separate video on this specifically at some stage. What this course teaches you is a very easy way to start playing solos and more advanced improv in your right hand. But instead of using scales to do that, which is what most soloing courses and lessons will do, Steve shows you how you can accomplish this by using the chords that you're already playing. I've recently joined a band, and I've been working on soloing using scales for a while, and I am getting better at it, but this course really opens up some quicker and easier options for me to incorporate some simple solos into my play, so it's really helping me out. And recently announced is a Next Level Rhythm Patterns Create Your Own course. I haven't actually seen this course yet because it hasn't been released at the time of making this video, but it does sound super interesting. And for these new courses, Steve has incorporated one of those digital keyboards that lights up the notes and pedals as he plays, so that's pretty cool. And as with the crash course, these optional add-on courses are lifetime access with just a single payment, but you do need to have purchased the crash course before buying any of these add-on courses. Now, some extra features with the Piano Man approach. One would be the Facebook group where Steve posts announcements, new courses, short YouTube video tips, that kind of thing. And students can post progress videos, ask questions, etc. Steve also does regular online concerts a few times a month, which are super cool to watch if you have time. And the last, but by no means least, extra feature with the Piano Man approach is Steve Lungrin himself. Steve is a super talented pro pianist who has been performing and teaching piano full-time for most of his adult life. He is a very laid-back, friendly, encouraging, and super approachable guy. He has a knack for being able to explain topics, even complex ones, very clearly and in a way that beginners can easily follow, and his lessons are super casual and tons of fun. So the verdict on the Piano Man approach course. This course is absolutely fantastic. It is well organized, efficient, well taught, and easy to follow, and it can take you from never having touched a piano to being able to quickly learn and play your favorite modern songs. And the left-hand rhythm patterns and the right-hand improv techniques that you're going to learn in this course will enhance your playing significantly. As I mentioned at the start of this review, this course was a total game changer for me. My playing improved dramatically as a result of taking this course, and my play is continuing to improve with the new courses Steve has been adding. And since you get lifetime access to the course with a single payment, there's no ongoing fees or subscription to worry about. To me, it's an absolute no-brainer. This course is an absolutely massive value for the small one-time payment that it costs, so I would highly recommend that you give it a go. So that's pretty much it for this review. Thanks a bunch for taking the time to watch. If you want to check out the Piano Man approach further, I've left my affiliate link in the description below, and I hope to see you in the Piano Man approach Facebook community. So thanks again, happy piano course shopping, and have an awesome day.